Daddy. If you like what you see, comment and subscribe.
Sipping on a 40. Yo, I know it's been a minute, huh? Homie, I'm back. Yeah, I said, homie, I'm back.
Microphone check, 1 2 1 2. Check check. You want beef with the king? What is you gonna do?
Hi, Daddy.
Hello, you guys. Welcome to episode 34. No, 35. No, 36 of the Mr. Dad video cast. Fuck you, Randy.
Okay,
First and foremost, I started this podcast to get over humps mentally for myself, like self-therapy. So I wanted to revisit something. Episode 2, I had an absent father, and I gave you guys sort of the backstory. But now this is where I kind of dive into what the root of the absent father issue was for me. First, I got to take you guys back to the childhood and wanting, desiring a dad, seeing people walk around with him. I had this really close friend, shout out to Drew, the scene, and he's always had this close relationship with his dad, and it's funny because as I was growing up, I always wanted that. It's like, oh, fuck, I really, really want that. And I remember getting in fights when people said the smallest things, like your dad trigger me. And I also remember wanting to understand the protection that came with the father. It's funny because my kids now, they get that on a daily, and it's normal for them to always feel protected, to always feel like you have nothing to worry about because that man that's supposed to be there for you is there. He's nurturing, he's caring, he's protecting, he's providing. And I remember just lapses of different time periods in my life where my dad was not available or readily available because of whatever life threw at him. So I just remember oh man, this wouldn't happen. Oh man, that wouldn't happen. Oh man, damn, I see how their dad is taking them to do stuff. I remember getting on the baseball field with Drew's dad and him hitting pop flies to me, and Drew was just running and jumping and grabbing them out the air and things like that. So I always wanted that. And then it's funny because after my mom left the abusive relationship she was in, and maybe 3-4 years after that, I remember going over on Western and meeting my dad for the first time that I could visually remember at a halfway house. And I remember going to this halfway house with him and with my mom and sitting there with him and just speaking to him about what was going on. And he was like, you got any questions for me? And I was like, just where you been? He was like, son, I just life circumstances. And I just didn't understand. So back then I wasn't as inquisitive as I am now. So I kind of just sat back and took it for what it was. Life circumstances. And mind you, I wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed when I was young. So I didn't really know what that meant. I couldn't break down the capacity of the word. So we sit there. He gives me some money. I go over to the soda machine. I think a Sprite and some Doritos. And I was in heaven because my mom was never giving me that. And we sat there and we talked for about 2 hours. And my mom, now that I remember, she was looking all super good. I don't know why. But that was a parent thing, so I didn't understand. It's you look nice today, Mom. And, my dad looked in good spirits. And then there was a time lapse. I didn't think I seen him again for 5-6 years. My brother got out of jail. He came and found me. I gave you guys the backstory on that. And he took me to see my dad. So I remember racing down 42nd off of Avalon, like racing my dad. Like we had a full on race, and I won. But my brother then called us both slow, which was funny. And it was cool. And then I think maybe like another 3 years passed. And I think I'm 18, 19. And I remember like meeting him, hanging out with him, like him teaching me life lessons that I probably should have learned younger, but who cares at this point? I'm just like one of those kids in heaven. And I remember us going to like a Father's Day barbecue. And for the first time, my dad, my brother, and myself, all in the same area. One of my older brothers was in jail. My second oldest brother was in jail, so he wasn't there. And I remember I was just sitting there, and they had me in this like Raider hat. And I'm not a Raider fan, but like my dad was a Raider fan. And we were just chilling, and it was just cool. And it felt like I was supposed to be there. It felt like I had found something that I was missing. So for about 3 years, we were like that. He moved in with my brother, 19, 20, 21. Just living with my brother. And I remember Thanksgiving. My brother has this Thunderdome thing, and I swear it's like partly a prison thing, where like you have to fight until the other person allows you to quit. So not only do you have to have this fighting match, but when you give up, you can't give up. Your opponent has to agree that you give up. And most of the time, if they whoop your ass, there's no reason. So it's Thanksgiving. I want to say it's 2007. My 21st birthday, so 2005. 25, 2005. Yeah, maybe 2005. 2006. One of those. It was before my daughter was born. But probably 2005, 2006. And we're in this garage. My dad's there, my brother, a few other people. I had been talking shit for years, talking about when I was 21, I was going to whoop my brother's ass. And, like, for some reason, he remembered it. So he challenged me to the Thunderdome. And mind you, my dad's in there. His bed is in the back corner. And my dad was a really big fighter when he was young. So we're sitting there, me, my brother, and a few of my brother's, like, kids' moms, cousins and stuff. A few of our family members. And he challenged me to a Thunderdome. And we're in there fighting for at least an hour and a half. I got a missing tooth from that night. And I had some bruises. My brother said I broke his ribs. It was like a full-on fight. And my dad was just sitting there smiling and happy. It's one of my fondest memories. I know that's fucked up to have that memory. But he just was happy that his sons were like him. Angry, self-destructive people. And I remember I quit. It was like an hour and a half. I'm like, look, I got a broke tooth. And my brother was like, all right. Didn't know that he was hurt. He like played it all off until later. And that was just my dad in a nutshell. Proud to have sons, proud to be back around us, really loving and embracing. You know, we had conversations, not as many as I would like, if I'm being honest. So, you know, those are the things that I felt like I was missing my whole life. And, you know, when you finally get things, especially like for me, and I felt like this like the majority of my life, is when you finally get something and it's great, sometimes those the reason why it's great is to show you something that you didn't have, and then it's taken away from you. So 2008 March, I get a call from my brother, and he's like, they killed him. They killed Daddy. And I'm like, what? And this is when I was really, really a ball full of like anger and anguish and hate. And I don't know why, because my life wasn't that bad. It was just that it was maybe just a buildup of everything that had gone on in my life. So I zoom off. I leave. At this point, my daughter had been born. My dad was at my daughter's baby shower, but she was already in the hospital because she was premature. So I don't think my dad even like held my daughter, but she was back home since like December. So yeah, I don't think he ever held her. Damn, that's fucked up. But I zoomed there. Say no more, I'm coming. I call a few of my friends, and we all ready to ride. My Auntie Pat runs over there, and she stops us from being ignorant and tells us like why my dad really died. And it was in the most stubborn Johnson way as possible. He had something going on with his stomach, went into the hospital that day in a lot of pain. I guess the hospital was taking too long for him, so he left. If he didn't leave, he would be alive today. And I just remember being fucked up. And just being that messed up for that amount of time that I've known him. Like, I don't even know what I would do if like I left like my mom, you know? But I just remember sitting there and being angry. Like someone that took something away from me. Like someone that stole my most precious jewel. And it sucks because like in life, when you want something and then you finally get it and then it's taken away from you, there's a feeling of like rage that comes over you. A feeling of hate. A feeling of like loss. I'm really big on understanding things. Like if I don't understand it, it upsets me and I have to keep talking. Kind of like a person that's drunk and they keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. That's me when I don't understand something. And for the life of me, I couldn't understand why. And I couldn't grasp the reason on why I felt so sick. And so lost and abandoned. And just in a place of like, fuck. His funeral rolls around, and I remember Dale going to it. I think Jason came. A few of my friends came to the funeral. I remember getting up on the podium and threatening people. All the family feuds that I heard about, not knowing people from shit, not knowing that all these people that I'm threatening in the crowd are killers. But I just didn't care. And that's just the Johnson way. It's a fucked up way to live, but it's our way. And we embrace it. So now I lost my dad and I just didn't know what to do. So today I'm going to switch it up a little bit. And at the end of this video, I'm going to pretty much take you guys into the emotional state I was in when I filmed a video at his gravesite. I appreciate everything that he did tell me and teach me in those few years, because it, to me, made me greater, made me have an understanding of him at its core, and gave me a better appreciation for my mom and how she held tight and held him down for years without saying not one bad word about him, and just letting me draw my own conclusions. Anyways, I appreciate everyone for listening. And I love you, Pop. I'm going to get out of here and raise these kids. Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm here at Inglewood Cemetery. Dad is built and buried here. See, ain't nothing but just me around right now. People won't think I'm so crazy. I've been talking to my dad for about last maybe 20 minutes. Now, it's crazy because when we were getting ready to bury him and everything, you know, we thought we had the money. We did a big fundraiser. Remember, I went somewhere like below Pasadena. I forgot the city, what it was, but went there and we got chicken. You know, we were doing this big thing or whatever, but we ended up not having the money for his grave. So you see this patch of grass, and the only reason why we really know that it's him and we really know that he's right here is because he's buried right next to my brother's mom, my brother's and my sister's mom. Yeah, you're like, man, brothers and sisters' mom, how many kids your dad got? It's a lot of us, like 16 or something like that. Dad had a lot of kids, as you see. Like, yeah, man, I just came here and I was like, you know, I got all the crying out before I got on here so I wouldn't start crying and stuff. And just been sitting here and relaxing. But yeah, kind of sad. My dad died in 08 of March, and it's kind of hard for all of us because, you know, we had just got a rotation and everything. So, you know, he was cool, and he lived with my brother, and, you know, I would always see him all the time. I remember on it was actually the year before, 07, we had a Thanksgiving dinner at my brother's house. And it was crazy, you know, all the family was there. You know, we were all chilling. The only person that wasn't there was Michael. And, you know, my older brother, he always wants to fight his younger brother to see who wins or whatever. So me and him were fighting. We're fighting in the garage. He calls it Thunderdome. We're fighting in the garage for about an hour and a half. My dad's just sitting there laughing and smiling. It's just, you know, it's like, you know, his sons, you know, finally all together or whatever. A lot of people don't know too much about my dad's relationship with me because I don't really let people know. Like, growing up, he wasn't around because of a lot of different problems that we had. And my mom never, ever down my dad. She was always like, you know, he's gone for his reasons and, you know, you're with me or whatever. And it wasn't until I met my dad that I found out that, you know, he really loves his kids. And, like, I say from maybe 04 or shit, maybe 2002 to now, like, I mean, to like 2008, we were like real close. We got real close. But yeah, that's the history of all of us or whatever. Yeah, Pops, man. It's crazy that you gone though. I was sitting there, me and man sitting there, and we talking and shit, and you know, he always brings you up, and ever since you left, you know, he took your habits. You know, he wants to be Kenny Jr. That's crazy because, you know, he's always been Kenny Jr. and I always let him know that. But, you know, he still loves. Sorry, Raiders. Sorry, Dad, with the Raiders. Sorry. And y'all beat us this preseason, but we whooped y'all asses last year, man. It was to the point where I think y'all turned off the TV at halftime when the Cowboys whooped that ass. But, you know, it's okay. I understand you and your Angels, your fellow Angels, tried to get together and let the Raiders win, but that shit didn't happen. Man,
truly crazy with not having you around no more. Because, you know, my whole life I always just wanted a dad, dude. And you came and he was gone. And that shit sucks. Cause I could have used you earlier, dude. I really could have. And I gave up drinking and I gave up smoking. And now I'm just like chilling. You die, man. I didn't even know what to do. I was drinking and I was smoking and shit, and that didn't even me. Because I didn't even know what to do. Like, I didn't go to work for 2 weeks, man. That's not like me. I barely see my daughter because, you know, and if it wasn't for me thinking, like, you know, she needed me, man, I probably wouldn't even be here. I was just sitting here and, man, but, you know, life goes on, dude. Life goes on, and we all moving forward. Michael out now, he just had a new little baby. And, you know, the job's doing good. We trying to, you know, spread your name like you spread your name. Shit, I don't know if I can hit 16 though, Pop. And I'm having trouble with this one. And if you could just look over us. And just, you know, keep us safe, man. Keep everybody around for at least 20, 30 more years. You know, so we can all see our kids grow up and maybe see our kids have kids. Miss you though, dude. Man, if I could have just, you know, I just need one day. Just one day where you can just come down and see all your grandkids, because I know that you died right around the time that my daughter was born. And I know that you've seen the pictures of her, but you never got to see her in person because she was still in the hospital when we had our baby shower. But you was there for the baby shower, man. You was laughing, you was happy. And it's like, through all the shit that I went through in my life, you know, with the shit that was going on with my sister's dad, and you know, the shit that was going on with my mom and the struggles that she had to go through, you know, she had never blamed you, dude. She had never blamed you. Ever. And I don't blame you either, dude. Because I know how the academic was, and I know that a lot of people fell to that. Shit, I probably would have fell to that back in the day. I don't know. I don't really like drugs. And another thing, Pops, everybody has your hairline, dude. You have officially fucked up the whole family. I mean, like, the whole family. If my daughter hairline recedes, when I meet you up in heaven, we gotta chunk them, because everybody else's hairline is gone. You can probably see mine. Well, yeah, I know you can see mine if you're looking down. But yeah, man, I just really wanted to share some time with you and let you know that you being there, like, towards the end of my life, dude, or at the end of your life, because hopefully I don't die no time soon, but end of your life, man, it was really special to me because, you know, I never knew what it was like to have a dad. You know, and I'm happy that you shook that habit so you can show me that. And I respect that, Pop. I really do. And, you know, I'm gonna try my best to be there for my kids like you were before, you know, all that shit came into play. And I'm gonna be around about mine. I promise you. Yeah, man. Zion was great. 2 now, about to be 3 on October 30th. And she's fighter, that's supposed to be together. When she came out premature and everything, but she's a fighter, dude, and I just want you to know that. And we all fighters, and we all gonna continue to do what we have to do. So I didn't wet the grass and stuff, but it's good though, because we gotta get you a headstone anyway. Try to get it together. Call Auntie Patty. See all your kids. Since the 16 of us, I think we put in $20, we can get you $800. Yeah, man, but I'm gonna send, the love out to the family from you. And, Auntie Patty's in North Carolina now, so I'm gonna have to send her a video of just your gravesite, just so, she can be here with us. I don't think any of us live in California. I know I ain't. I ain't had no Raider stuff to give you. I usually burn it before I get here. Don't get mad at me. I'm in the grave with you. But I hope you and Tanya's up there and y'all partying it up. Hope you let the Hennessy go though. Hope you let the Hennessy go, 'cause the Hennessy is not a good look.